Bonjour and good afternoon. Thank you for joining the American School of Marrakesh. We are so very happy and pleased to present this masterclass series for our families, students, and the world. We have a very special program lined up for you today, and it's my absolute pleasure to introduce Ms. Priti Kadiri, the president of the American School of Marrakesh's parent-teacher organization. The PTO has been a bastion of strength this year of leading tremendous programs such as the masterclass, such as a variety of activities on campus and off campus. And this is just one of those examples of leadership and gusto by our president, Priti Kadiri. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce Ms. Priti Kadiri, president of the PTO.
Thank you, Dr. Sato, for those very kind words. We are really thrilled to have Mr. Hicham El Habti, president of this magnificent university, Mohammed Seas University Polytechnic, as our master in today's master class for the ASM community in Morocco, on campus, and in fact worldwide. We have people connecting to this session virtually all over the world, spreading the message of what amazing work you do over here. But more on that a little bit later. I would like to introduce what the masterclass is, briefly, if I may. It's facilitated by the ASM Parent-Teacher Organization, PTO. Masterclasses offer immersive and interactive experiences that give the community opportunities to meet with the world's leading practitioners in a field like art, science, literature, technology, sports, and in this case, education. Each masterclass is led by a guest expert or master and designed to offer in-depth yet accessible knowledge. The participants get to interact with the masters through virtual or face-to-face interactions and have access afterwards to instructional videos and recordings. Whether your favorite trending passion is cooking, music, teaching, art, science, sports, or technology, there is something to learn for everyone at ASM's PTO Masterclasses. So today, I would like to welcome President of the University UM6P, engineer, educator, and visionary to the ASM Masterclass. I would like to give a very brief background about you. Hicham is a graduate of a very prestigious engineering college in France. He then went on to work at Ernst & Young for a couple of years, which is a big multinational, and then worked with a variety of Moroccan SMEs, I think gaining a lot of experience in a variety of fields. And then after that, he joined in 2013 OCP as a project manager and rose, I think, very rapidly through the ranks to become a director of management control, business steering, before becoming the deputy secretary general, then the secretary general of this university, and now he is president. It's also ASM Sustainability Month, and I was very pleased to see on the OCP website that Dr. Tarab has articulated that OCP and the university is going to be as sustainable as possible, and that by 2030, all your energy is going to be green, which is really an outstanding ambition, and I think that we all endorse that. So with that, I would very much like to pass on the baton to Mr. Habti to tell us, in his own words, his passion, his ambition. Obviously, you're an ambitious man. Your vision. How are you creating this fantastic center of excellence, which is something that to be proud of? How are you nurturing African leaders of tomorrow? And what does that really mean? you know, are they just going to be able to perform in Africa, or are they going to be global leaders with specialties? So really, if you can sort of educate us on what this whole thing that we've been witnessing this morning unfolding before our eyes, and also, you know, projecting into the future, and telling us where you want to take this, I think that would be really something that we would all be keen to hear. So over to you, Hicham.
Thank you. And yeah, thank you for your kind words. There is the presentation, yeah? Yeah. And I will use that, or so it works? Okay. Okay, cool. No, I take it. Okay, thank you. Thank you for your kind words, and welcome to the university. Salam alaikum, bonjour, good morning. Very happy to host you here today, and it's an honor for us to have this delegation from our partner, American School of Marrakesh. I have, I think, about 35 minutes to give you an idea about the university, about myself. I will start, I think, by that. And I will share with you our vision, our ambition, thanks to this university. So, as was mentioned, so I had the opportunity to have a diploma from engineering school in France. Okay. So, but before that, I was born in Casablanca. I grew up in Casablanca. I did all my studies in Casablanca, even classe préparatoire in lycée Mohammed V. After that, I had the opportunity to apply for École Polytechnique, and after École Polytechnique, I did École Nationale des Ponts et Chaussées, and I worked for about 2 years within Ernst & Young in Paris. Late 2005, I decided to come back home, so to join an SME. It was a rent-a-car company, Avis, and at the time I was not even 27 years old, and I had the opportunity to run a company, and I found myself with more than 110 people that spent in average more than 30 years, and the mission was how to leapfrog the development of this company by integrating more IT and more digital. At the time it was in 2006, and you can imagine how tough was this work, because you found yourself with people who had never touched a computer before, and you have about 1 year to move them from this world to a new world, because the Avis, the company in Europe, asked the franchise here in Morocco to adopt the same standards. So for me, it was a very great learning experience. It was another thing to discover Morocco. When I left Morocco, I was a student, 19 years old, and 7 years after that, I discovered even a new city, which was Casablanca. For me, it's very different from the city where I grew up. After 3 years, I joined another experience. It was in very different field. It was an investment company. I had the opportunity to be Secretary General. I don't know why I have in each company I joined, the first position was Secrétaire Général. I don't know why. So it was the case with Avis. It was the case with Mutandis, which is an investment company. I spent there about 10 months, and I was appointed as a CEO of a handicrafts company. So just to give you my background, I'm an engineer in the applied mathematics in finance. So I spent 2 years in this field with Ernst & Young. I found myself running a company in a rent-a-car company, and after that in an investment company, and after that in a handicrafts company. So for me, what is the message behind that? You have to develop skills beyond the nature of the diploma or the certificate you're getting. What we are looking for in the field of the management is what you are bringing as way to unleash the energy of the people you are working with. It's regardless of if you have a degree in the finance or in the marketing or in the communication. So it's a personal matter, it's personal skills, and you need to develop that if you want to succeed in your in your work life. So from Casablanca, I joined Marrakesh because the handicrafts company was based in Marrakesh, so I discovered a new city, and I decided to stay there. Even now, I live in Marrakesh, and it was a new world, very different from rent-a-car company because it's the handicrafts. I spent 3 years, and I decided to join a big company. And the biggest company in Morocco is OCP, because at some point I had spent 7 years in SMEs, and I was wondering if at some point I have to change. So at some point you need to take the risk to move, because for me it was very comfortable to stay in this position. But yeah, I had to ask myself, should I make another choice? Should I change the way or the field I'm performing in? So I applied for OCP and joined OCP in January 2013. I am project manager. 9 months after that, I was appointed as the head of the management control business steering department, which is one of the biggest departments within the group. After that, I was appointed as Deputy Secretary General, and at the same time, it was in parallel, I was here in the university. Last October 2020, I was appointed as the President of the university. So what is UM6P? This slide is very important for me. You know that you are performing in the education field, and you know that the importance of the education is universally recognized and acknowledged fact. So we need to develop and to give the opportunity to develop in high standards education. And it's not a matter of the state, it's a matter of non-governmental too. It's the case for the ASM as it's run by an association. So, and as a part of Morocco, we need to ask ourselves very different questions related to education in Africa, because the mission, and I will develop that later on, the mission of the university is beyond Morocco, it's for all Africa. So the questions, we can take just the first one, are those given a chance actually learning? Is what they are learning relevant to work and life, how to be coherent, relevant to between those two sides. So this is the general context for education in Africa. So there are challenges, and I think you are all aware of that. So how to there is low and inequitable access to the education. There is a weak education system capacity, and especially a weak link with the world of work. So there are some issues with that affecting the quality of higher education, and our focus is how to bring solutions to those challenges. Some metrics. So you have them here on the slide, but if we have to keep in mind just one figure, is those 258 million children and youth were out of school in 2018, which is a huge number. So this rate about the sub-Saharan Africa's out of school that reached 31.2% of the region's population. It's a huge rate, and we have to work together to lower this rate. In addition to that, there was the COVID-19. So this pandemic has a huge impact on education, and according to the World Bank, 1.6 billion children and youth are out of school in 161 countries as of March 28, 2020, which is a huge number. So the pandemic has a huge impact on the education system, especially here in Africa. Now, how to mitigate the loss of learning? There was initiative linked to the online classes and digital education, but there are still challenges on that. It's regarding the lack of access in the internet, the Wi-Fi, and I will share with you our own experience of last year, and even the computer, the hardware. Not everyone has access to hardware. So the internet is one of the main challenge to this digital education or to these online classes. But we need to see this crisis as an opportunity. It's to leapfrog the transformation, to have the digital thinking from day one, and for that we need to develop a policy for this remote education. We need to change our way of accrediting programs to have this all digital education as part of the curriculum, which is not the case so far, which wasn't the case so far before the crisis. I think that we are moving on the right path regarding this question. There are some initiatives to help achieving this goal. So the first one is the African Digital Schools Initiative, supported and funded by MasterCard Foundation. MasterCard Foundation spent a lot of money on education, especially in Africa. So we are we reach out to this foundation, and we are working together to see how to leverage on their resources and to leverage on our capabilities, enabling Africa having access to the highest quality in terms of online classes. The second initiative, the Education Plus initiative, joint initiative of UNESCO, UNICEF, and so on and so forth. The impact of the other point, this is for education. The other part is research. So, and those figures are very, very low. Africa, all Africa generates less than 1% of the world's research. A huge gap. There are many reasons, as mentioned here. So there are a lot of scientists that decide to go abroad and not back home. We have, and this is how the academic world works, is that the sum of knowledge each year, generated each year, is measured using research articles published by scientists, scholars in scientifically recognized journals. So there is a huge need to understand this world and to be part of it. And there is this figure: women researchers need to be well represented. Just 3 out of 10 are women. So this is the context of education, context of research. At some point, a university called Mohammed VI Polytechnic University was inaugurated in January 2017. So it was 4 years and 3 months ago. Why? It's especially for that, and I will return back to this slide. Is to see how we can tackle those African challenges through research and innovation. So UM6P, at the end of the day, if you need to keep in mind just one word or one sentence, is university is UM6P, Mohammed VI Polytechnic University, is a research platform. It's a research platform, not education platform. First thing is the research and innovation platform to enable Africa tackling its challenges. This is what you need to keep in mind at the end of the day, at the end of your visit of university. So we talked about the African challenges in terms of education and in terms of research. But beyond that, what are those? What does our challenges? So a huge need for the human capital development, a huge need to develop new agile public policies in terms, for instance, of education or the health, using the digital, for instance. Africa will be a solution for the food security problem if we develop a new ways of doing agriculture and a new way of manage the natural resources. So those are the main African challenges. Now, how to tackle that is, as I said, through research and innovation. So we have translated those challenges in terms of research topics. And you have just a list here. Those are the main topics, not the subtopics. So in the water, agriculture, environment, you can imagine we could have 1,000 research projects. In the renewable energy, in the biotechnology and biomedical, in the health, in the chemical, in the agriculture, economics and development, so on and so forth. So the university was built to tackle those research topics, to bring assets, to bring faculty, to bring students working on those topics for the development of the African continent. And from day one, the king gave the UM6P vision is to be an institution, as I said, oriented towards applied research, not fundamental research. And we are more applied research with the focus on Africa. And we are, as a university, engaged in economic and human development and put research, as I said, and innovation at the forefront of African development. This is what you need to keep in mind today and to share it with your students. We are here in Ben Guerir, as you say here, just a very small part of our new city that we are developing. So there here in 2050, if we have to project ourselves, here we will have about 100,000 inhabitants. It's the same size than the old Ben Guerir. And the heart of this new city will be the University of Mohammed VI Polytechnic. And we are starting developing this ecosystem by having the university you are visiting today. We have a green energy park, which is a living lab in the renewable energy. We have the green and smart building park, we call it living lab in terms of new technologies for the building. We have StartGate, which is an innovation and entrepreneurship platform next to the university. We have data center, which is the biggest one here in Morocco, with the fastest supercalculator in the world, in Africa, 3 millions of billions of operations per second. So you can imagine how fast this calculator is. Our mission, so I give you the vision that you need to keep in mind: applied research, innovation with a focus on Africa, and the mission is how to develop skills and knowledge, how to give in birth, and you said that in your introductory word, a new generation of competent leaders for Africa. How to promote research, which is one of the main mission we are working on. We have a huge, and I know that this is the case within the American school, a huge focus on sharing the values of social responsibility and sustainable development. More than 80% of our students are having a grant from OCP Foundation. So they are here following their studies with the scholarship and the grant from OCP Foundation. And yeah, developing lasting partnership with the best and renowned universities in the world. We have what we call living labs. So here in Ben Gurion, we have an experimental farm. I don't know if you have time to visit today. It's not far from here, 5 minutes drive, about 100 hectares, where our students, even the students now, have a piece of land where they are testing their innovation. So the learning by doing philosophy is very present in our DNA. So the same philosophy applied for the experimental mind. We have the mind of OCP, which was endowed to the university. So our researchers, when they are working on autonomous track, so they are really working on autonomous track and not just in their laboratory. So they have a track in the mind, and they are working on it. We have the Green Energy Park. We have all the new city as a living lab for our School of Architecture, Planning and Design. How to develop this research capabilities. So it's thanks to a model we call the research in mirror mode. We know that we are very young. As I said, the inauguration was done in January 2017. We need to tackle the research topics, but we will not do it by our own. So we built a network of partnerships, and one of the first and the biggest one is MIT. So we have, for some research topic, I think with MIT so far, we have about 15 more than 15 research topics. So from both sides, we have a research team. We have this exchange and training resources from both sides. We have some students from MIT that before the pandemic that came here at the university. They even went to Ben Gurion and did some surveys with the local inhabitants. And we have some PhD students and postdocs that went to MIT, to Cambridge, spent between 2 months and 6 months in the laboratories. And even we have now joint publications between MIT and UM6P. And last year, we had even a patent between MIT and UM6P. So from this mode, or this mirror mode, we give the opportunity to Moroccan PhD students to have access to the best in class laboratories, have access to the best in class researchers, and so it gave them even confidence and trust in themselves. And I don't know if you met a researcher called Manel that spent 2 months in Cambridge, and once she's back, yeah, we can do it here. We have the resources. We can take the same path. So and we are developing this model with very important partners like Stanford, like École Polytechnique Fédérale de Lausanne, École Polytechnique in France, Columbia University in New York, McGill, so on and so forth. For the education, so this is the main topic, as I said, it's research. Education is a very nice side effect for us, but it's not the main focus. So we are not developing our business model on education. It's on research, but to do research, we need students. So we need PhD students, and we need Master of Science students, and after that, it will be the bachelor. But here we have the main offer in terms of education from UM6P in 3 main departments. So the biggest one in science and technology, I will give you more details about that. We have the humanities, faculté de gouvernance, sciences économiques et sociales in Rabat, and we have a business and management department around the Africa Business School, where we have executive MBAs and MBA with Columbia, for instance. We have the School of Hospitality, Business and Management in partnership with École Hôtelière de Lausanne. We have, I think it was the first time in the history to develop a School of Collective Intelligence by bringing different fields, cognitive sciences, social philosophy, and so on and so forth. And we have a non-conventional center called Mahir Center for Moroccan Advanced Human Innovation Research Center. Is a 10-month curriculum. I think that you had the opportunity to see their the expo in the atrium. In the Science and Technology Department, we have our School of Industrial Management called IMIN. We have a School of Agriculture called ESAF. We have a School of Architecture, Planning and Design. We have a Green Technology Institute in terms of renewable energy. It's a Bachelor and a Master of Science. Next year, we will develop a School of Computer Science. As you know, the data is the oil of the future, so we need to develop more capabilities and more skills in the computer science. That's why we decided to launch a School of Computer Science next year, next September. We have just now have Institut Supérieur des Sciences Biologiques et Paramédicales for all the health training. We have all the other masters are under Institute of Science, Technology and Innovation. And next to this conventional ways of doing education, we have something which is non-conventional, which is the 1337, which is a coding school without even a faculty. So it's a peer learning school. Today there are 600 students, 400 in Khoribga, 200 here in Bengurir. Next year I think they will double, and they have just 10 people managing all the school, and there is no problem with the faculty, with the teachers, no, nothing. So, and it's a school which is open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, so they can come at 2 a.m. if they want to work at 2 a.m. So they are free, and it's based on a gaming philosophy. It's like they are playing, but they are learning, and they are very good coders. So as you can see, within the university we have the conventional way of doing education and the non-conventional way at the same time. And we see the impact of this 1337, for instance, on our School of Computer Science. Because they are doing computer science, but with a different mindset and a different approach. Today, we are more than 2,000 students, 7% international full-time students from sub-Saharan African countries. We have about 3% of international exchange students, but those figures will be higher after the pandemic. 22% female students, and 30% of the students are in this what we call specialized programs, 1337 and Mahir. As I said before, the sustainable and integrated development is at the heart of the mission, and I will go directly to here. This the governor of La Provence, the Arhamna. So we work very closely with the authorities here in Morocco to offer something to the community. The spirit of giving back for the community is very important for us. I will give you an example of Ghibli. So Ghibli is an app that enables the people from, now it's beyond the university, but at the beginning it was for the university and some ladies that are cooking at home, and it's like Uber Eats. So it was presented last December it was a television show on 2M, Qui veut investir dans mon projet. So he won about 250,000 dirhams to develop his startup. Now he's scaling up in Rabat. Here in Benguir, it was about 6 or 7 ladies that work on that. In Rabat, so far it's more than about 200. So you can imagine the impact on that. And we help those ladies to develop their own companies, auto-entrepreneurs, and now they have revenues each month, and for us it's very important. to give back to the community. We are encouraging the staff and the student to do something for the community. For our engineering school, there is something called Acte d'Entreprendre, where they must propose something for the villages around the university. The second thing is the quinoa. So the young lady, she's a researcher here at the Liberal University, and she's working with the farmers around the university, having the best practices in the quinoa field. So we worked on that. We have the research laboratories, and we share with them the results of our research. Very important to keep in mind that. And the last point is this. Here we develop, and this is very American ways of seeing things, the community college. So for the community college, we have students here. I think there are 4 high schools here in Ben Guerir. And before 2018, we had very few students from Ben Guerir that were admitted to the university. So we developed a special program for them. We like the spirit of the community college. So the first cohort, 65 students, and the second, 78, the third one, 64, where we help those youth having the right to improve especially their soft skills, communication, language, and after that, after 1 year, they can join the university. So we keep in mind that we are here in Ben Guerir, that we are in Province d'Orhamna, and that we have to have this very close relationship with the community. That's why we from day one we thought about this community college. The second example is Lycée d'Excellence, and it's under the ecosystem of the university, which has a national vocation. It's beyond Arhamna. It's for all Morocco, to give the opportunity to deserving people with positive discrimination. And there is a positive discrimination here. For the class préparatoire, we have a balance between the rural area and the big cities, between in gender, and we help those youth to yeah. That's why we developed this positive discrimination. So to avoid this disadvantaged backgrounds, it's very important. Even here in within the university, the language is not a discrimination for us at the admission. So and people are speaking more and more English more than French, and we don't take into account the level of the language in the admission. But at the end, they have to have a minimum level, I think B2 or something like that in French and in English. But at the beginning, we don't have to keep this discrimination, the disadvantage background, because it depends where you were born. If you were born in Casablanca, it's not the same thing here in Ben Guerir, so we cannot just hire or attract students that speak fluent French. It won't work. It's not the philosophy of the university. I would just share with you, we have the opportunity to receive very distinguished guests, and after that we ask them to leave something for us, and it doesn't work. I don't know why. Ça marche? Ça marche pas? So, yeah, we'll show you that later. So, thank you. Thank you for your attention. I think that I did my 30 minutes or 35 minutes. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Hicham, for that very illuminating, inspiring, and motivational talk. I feel all fired up to change the world. So I can just only imagine what a profound effect this education is having on the next generation. It's authentic, it's rooted, but it's at the same time, it's benchmarking with the best in the world. It's sustainable, it's inclusive, it's diverse, it brings everyone together, no matter what background, language, race, color, and I think that mission to build a community of leaders for tomorrow to solve real problems is commendable. So on that note, I would like to invite our student representative from the American School of Marrakesh, Bilal. We've been researching you at the school, what work you'll do, and we really have worked quite hard to build a collection of questions, and if we may use this opportunity for the students of ASM, represented through Bilal, to ask you these questions. Thank you. Bilal?
Thank you, Mr. Habis, for this presentation. It was very eye-opening to see your points of view on different aspects of the university. And I must say that I've visited a lot of campuses while searching for university myself, and this blows everything out of the water. It's truly state of the art. It's amazing. And it's very, like, I've never thought a city like Ben Gurir would one day have facilities like this. It's really just mind-blowing. So from that, I had some questions about, like, the school came up with some questions for you. So number one, it's obvious that being a president of a company like OCP, which is, you know, amongst the biggest in the world, and like presence of this university, you're extremely young for this job. So do you have any advice or qualities that you would like to share with the people, and like how you got this far this quick?
Thank you for your question. The right answer, I don't know. Really, I don't know. What I could share with you is that for every job I had the opportunity to do, I was very passionate, and I was here to learn. So the advice I can give is to be in a spirit or a mindset of learning. It's regardless of, as I said, of your background, or if you have a certificate from the biggest universities or the biggest engineering schools in the world. It's just the beginning. It's not an end in itself. So, and the other thing is you're here to enable the others to exist. So you have to keep in mind that you are here to serve these people, au service d'eux, and not you. Once you are at the top, you need to, all the light is on you. No, and I think this is the last degree in terms of leadership, is we cannot see you. If things are running without you, you can tell yourself that you win. You are winning your challenge. So this is regardless of the age. It's not a matter of the age. It's a matter of how you see your role, how you see your value added, and from that, you can manage any position, and you can manage in any position. I had the opportunity within OCP and to run a program called the movement. It was launched in 2016 with an objective to enable everyone within the group to do everything they have in mind, with a goal is how to create value for OCP and for themselves, regardless of the hierarchy, regardless of their the job description. And I learned a lot from that, because I was here for the others. I work here to let the others work. So what the advice I can give everyone about regarding this topic is just to be humble, to be mindset of learning. You should be a lifelong learner. In every opportunity you have, there is something to learn from. And it's not because the light is in you that you are succeeding. For me, you are succeeding once you don't are attracting the light. And as I said, it's regardless of the age. It's you as a human being, how you behave and how you see your role in the society.
Thank you for your answer. I had another question. Before, or like when we first visited, I think the chief of staff told us that 80% of students coming to this university have a full-time, like a full scholarship, allowing them to study for free in this. You know, it's an amazing offer. And I was wondering, do you see this university becoming a 100% like a scholarship-based university where everybody can come and study for free, no matter the social or financial background?
Yeah, it depends on its business model. So we have now, we have OCP Foundation as that is giving the scholarships and grants, and we are trying to attract other foundations to do so, like as I said, MasterCard, Carnegie, and others even here in Morocco. We have to fulfill our mission, which is offering the best in class in terms of research and education. And I think from that we can achieve this mission, which is we are almost a public university, as I said, more than 80%, 100% scholarship from OCP Foundation. But if we want to be sustainable, we need others to help in that. And our duty is to ensure them that we are offering the best in class in terms of education. So this is what we are working on.
You also talked a lot about the research. Now this was primarily a research center, and then it's flowed back down to education. And we saw that when we visited Amin, the engineering school, and they talked to us about how students would participate in creating their own, like trying and learning the physics on their own. And also learning 5 languages, which would help with spreading the work that you're doing here currently. So I was wondering, where do you see, are you adapting the students in order to become researchers and be able to give back to the university and then give back to Morocco and the world in general?
Yeah, what we are looking for as an alumni is the soft skills part. So they should be open-minded, they should be problem solvers, they should be the thinker out of the box, they should be having access to or being in touch with other cultures, with other philosophies, in addition to the hard skills. And for us, the give back to Morocco, to Africa, is to be a good leader where they will work. So if they can create more value in their jobs, for us it's a way of giving back. There is no contract between the students and UM6P that they should give back to the university once they got a job. No, there is nothing like that. But it's the spirit, it's the mindset we are developing. That's why, and you visited the engineering school. I think it's a 5-year curriculum. I think in the 3rd year or the 4th year, they should do something for the community. Acte d'entreprendre. It's mandatory to let them be aware of the fact that you have this opportunity to be here at the university. You have 100% scholarship, but there are others that don't have this opportunity, and you need to think about them. You need to do something for them. you need to develop something for them. This is very important. So this is our way of this giving back. Is beyond just giving back to the university, but by developing and by contributing in the training of the leaders of tomorrow, it's a way of being sure that value will be created added at the level of all the continent.
We also visited the learning lab, and we were very impressed with the fossils and the collection of books we saw. It's very impressive stuff. And we were thinking while we were there, the scalability of the operation you have here. It's could expand and like keep expanding on forever, because like you know, this could be a whole museum, like the learning lab. So have you planned your university like in terms of scalability and of expanding it and incorporating more things into the program?
Yeah, and it will be done thanks to digital, because I had the opportunity to talk and develop on that. I think you visited the digital learning lab, and we cannot have buildings like that everywhere. We could reach out to many students all around Africa thanks to digital, but it needs some prerequisite like having access to internet and like having access to laptops. And our way to scale up this university is to imagine a hybrid model where we can leverage on the capabilities here, on the buildings, for instance. We can take the dormitories. With 100 dormitories, we can have, for instance, 400 students. So we can give them access to the classes online, so they can have access to the knowledge, and they will come here instead of 4 weeks a month, but just 1 week a month. So where they can deep dive their knowledge, they can ask the faculty about what's happening, or some knowledge questions. So you can imagine from just one room is for 4 or 5 students. So you scale it up by 4 or by 5. So we have to think out of the box about the model, and it will be done thanks to digital. So, and to developing this hybrid, because 100% online, we saw what last year it was not that easy for the students. So there is this need of connection between students and teachers or professors, but we can do it differently. So we can scale it from here by leveraging on the digital resources.
You also talked about it being a multi-campus school with their campus you have in Rabat and also 1337. We were wondering, is there plan to open other campuses throughout Morocco as of now?
Yeah, so the first one is here in Benguir. We had already opened a research center in Laayoune called ASARI, for African Sustainable Agriculture Research Institute. And this is for the agriculture, the biosaline agriculture. It's very linked to the topics of the region of the south of Laayoune. So this is the second campus. So far, it's just a research center, and we will develop education in the next few years. We have the campus of Rabat, Faculté de Gouvernance. It will open next September 2021. We will have more than 400 students there. And so the other 2 campuses, one will be in Casablanca to host our business school, to be near to the economic capital of Morocco. And the last one will be in Mazagon, between Jadida and Casablanca. And it will be more in the field of chemistry, material science, in those fields. It will be done in the next 4 or 5 years.
As you know, Morocco is a very resource-rich country with the recently discovered cobalt mines next to Dakhla, and also the enormous amounts of phosphates we possess. With this opening of this new research university, do you see Morocco becoming sort of like the capital of Africa, basically, with everything coming in, because we have the ports, we have Europe, we have the connections with the United States?
Exactly. That's why we need to develop more capabilities in different fields. One of the main departments of the university is the geology and the mining department. It's aimed to develop capabilities to see how to monetize all the resources that we have, to develop more industry, to have more value creation here in Morocco. Yeah, we are blessed by having this access to Europe, by having access to the US, by having to Latin America, and we have those natural resources. And for me, the most important resource is the human capital. We have a lot of youth, and by offering them this campus, likewise, it's for us to enable all Morocco having the right capabilities to create more value for Morocco and beyond Morocco.
We also heard about the American School of Ben Gvir opening up recently, and a lot of people wondering, how connected are they going to be? Are they going to be a sort of, like in Ala Akhawain school in Ifran, where you have the school and the university, and some events take place in the university, some events take place in the school. Is it going to be something like that?
Yeah, we are working very closely with the American School of Marrakesh, with ISC Corporation, to develop to have the right setup or the business model between the American School of Ben Gvir, the university, the American School of Marrakesh. It will be an ecosystem, and I think that everyone in this ecosystem, it's a win-win-win situation for everyone. For us, it will enable us to attract very qualified faculty from the US and beyond the US, because the first question they ask where for their kids, where they will follow their studies. So now we have an offer, which is the American School. Even within the university, we will develop, for instance, the Bachelor of Science. We will have the ABET accreditation, so it will be, we will offer this curriculum here in Morocco for the youth who don't want to go abroad just after the high school, to have access to a program accredited by the US. And even the American school, we want to have this positive discrimination of, I'm talking about the American School of Ben Gvir, this positive discrimination by having people from different backgrounds and developing, like we did in the LEADEX and we are doing here in the university. And to support that and to create and to give the opportunity to broader people here in Morocco having access to this kind of education, because it's different from the French way or from the Moroccan way. And what we are looking for here at the university, as I said, we develop more those soft skills, the spirit. And I know that within the American school, it's one of your main focus. This is a lack in the, there is a huge lack in the other forms of education. And we want to have that. So for us, it will be a bridge between the two, bridge between American school and the university. And it's, as I said before, it's a win-win-win situation for me.
You also talked a lot about the mining future of Morocco in the previous answer, and we were wondering, with the artificial intelligence and mechanization becoming more commonplace, is there a plan to expand to that and for the computer science and coding aspects of the school?
Yeah, for the science and technology, the heart of our science and technology department will be applied mathematics and computer science skills, because we know that it will be the skills that we will look for in the future. So we are giving this opportunity to everyone, even in the fields of the agriculture. We have to look now at the agriculture with the lenses of the artificial intelligence, with the use of data, and so on and so forth. In the health, you cannot imagine the health of tomorrow like it was done in 20 or 30 years before. So you have to embed these computer science skills. I think that 3 years ago, a very big hospital in New York hired more data scientists than faculty in the health. And I think it will be the case in the next few years. That's why, as I said, the heart of our science and technology department will be this computer science, data science, artificial intelligence.
Thank you so much, Bilal, for those wonderful questions on behalf of the ASM student body. You did a really good job. So may I now, on that note, just throw it open to the floor. I think we have we can take a couple more questions. I think I can see Mr. Tejani's hand up.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Habti. Wonderful project, very much needed in Morocco. Maybe just one question. Today, during the visit, we could see very clearly how UM6P is preparing future leaders, which again, we do need here in Morocco. Are you not concerned that we will train these leaders only for them to leave Morocco, at least some of them, because the promise of working abroad is still very attractive. And so I was just wondering what the university is doing to train, but also retain and keep these leaders here in Morocco.
Great question. This is a really great question. I give you just information about our engineering school. So last year it was the fourth cohort. We have just 15% of our students that went abroad. So 85% are here in Africa, not just in Morocco, but in sub-Saharan African countries. And for me, this is a success. Why? And because during their 5 years here, we repeat and repeat and repeat that we are training them to have impact here in Africa. So I think that we are succeeding in that, but we have to be very careful about that. The second thing is that it's up to us to be attractive. It's not up to them. So if we talk about the brain drain, we succeeded so far in a reverse brain drain because we hired a lot of Moroccan from the diaspora in the faculty body. Why? Because we are offering them opportunities to do very high quality research. They have something in their heart regarding Morocco, so they want to give back to Morocco. So just they don't have or they haven't had the opportunity to do that. So it's because I asked them why at some point you decide to return back to Morocco and you have a very good position in the US, in Canada, or in Saudi Arabia, and the answer was that I want to give back to Morocco. Now I have the opportunity to do my research the way I want to do it. I have the same opportunities than in the US, and so it's up to us to be attractive. And for the students, so just to turn back to your question, what we are trying to develop is people that are more entrepreneur in their mindset. And if we can take some young people here in the startup field, why they decide to go, for instance, Station F or in the Silicon Valley? Because they find an ecosystem. We need to create this ecosystem here. So we have StartGate. I don't have the opportunity to visit it, but now they have access to the VCs. They have access to some corporate. They have access to other startups. We brought Plug and Play from Silicon Valley to Bengre. So you have to imagine San Francisco, Bengre. So they are here for 2 years. We developed a program with MIT Sandbox. So they are mentored by mentors and coaches from MIT. It's online, but it's a mentor, the same quality that the students from MIT are having, but they have having here. And now we have students from Akhawain, from University Qadi Iyad, Mohamed Sanki, Hassan II. So we are offering them. So for me, it's up to us to develop something attractive, and people won't leave. Won't just leave to leave. They won't leave because they don't find opportunities here, and we cannot blame them for it. They're right. At some point, they want to develop themselves, and they are looking for room for development. So if we can give them this opportunity, they will stay.
So thank you. You clearly outlined the university's vision with a major big focus on Morocco and Africa.
Yeah.
Are there plans to expand in Africa? I mean, this is a model, this is a brand. Are there plans to expand open schools in Africa? I think the King's vision to invest in Africa, we belong here, this is our continent.
Exactly.
There are a lot of resources that are untapped in Africa.
Exactly.
So what are some plans to
Yeah,
expand?
we have that in mind. So now we need to consolidate our growth here in Morocco, but we have already some discussion in different sub-Saharan African countries. Yeah, it will be the case in the next few years. Now we have to consolidate the development of the university here. We will open a new campus in Rabat. We have to be sure that it's running the best way. But we have in mind Africa. But we are preparing for that. We have a huge program with the EPFL called Excellence in Africa. So we are training the junior faculty. They are training 100 PhD students from Africa. So for us, this is an investment on the development of Africa in the next few years.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Other questions?
Do we want to just take one more question, or we are absolutely out of time? Dr. Sato?
Hi, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Sure, I'll ask one last question.
Yeah.
I'll have that honor. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
And I understand we have to wrap it up. So you have been described as the face of today's entrepreneurs. In your opinion, what attributes or characteristics best represent the entrepreneur of today?
What's the best attribute?
Yeah, characteristics.
Very tough question. The last one is the tough.
Sorry.
Yeah, good question. For me, it's the link to the impact. The terms of impact, I haven't said that a lot today, but normally it's for us what we are looking for is impact. That's why we are developing applied research more than fundamental research. So we need to be close to the field, close to the corporates, close to the communities. And for me, an entrepreneur, one that is having in mind what the value he is or she is creating or adding for the community, for the city, for the corporation. So this is for me what we need to keep in mind, and it should be the driver of our daily work.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you for
know,
your question.
So yes, I just wanted to, on behalf of ASM and the ASM PTO, just wanted to offer a small token of our appreciation. Thank you so much for your time. We realize you're a very busy man. And thank you for taking the questions from our students, from our staff, from the ASM community. So on behalf of ASM, thank you so much. Merci beaucoup and shukran.
Jute from Bangladesh. Can we have a picture? Sure.